Hello everyone and welcome to this video, which is in our Great Engine Game series and Crazy Leela series. I'm Grandmaster Matthew Sadler, and this time we are looking at knight odds again. It's been a while. This time the missing knight on g1, and again this was a game that I was watching live, and yeah, the black player, not amazingly highly rated, nearly 2500 on Lichess, seemed to be doing such a good job at quite a fast time control, 3 minutes plus 2. But then, yeah, out of nowhere somehow, just when he seemed to be moving forwards and going for the kill, somehow Leela struck back. And yeah, I was just shocked by the tactics that happened. So yeah, it just made a big impression on me. So let's have a look how it seems to you. So after e4, c6, Leela plays queen f3. d5, d3. That's one of its favourite ideas, and also quite interesting in normal chess with equal material. It is like a sort of a slow Caro-Kann, but yeah, you're getting the queen out of the way so that d takes c4, d takes c4 doesn't swap off queens, and the queen's quite nicely placed on g3. Combines with the bishop on f4, which attacks those squares, and also an h4 to h5 advance. Pretty nice actually. So bishop g7, h3. Leela setting itself up with this line for a fairly slow game. So it's not, Leela isn't too bothered about precise tempi, but bishop e2 and just waiting to see what black does. Now it's quite interesting actually because, yeah, black castled kingside and now Leela played h4. And you see that so often somehow that Leela reacting to early castling, just seeming to wait, hang around a little bit, and then reacting straight away with h4 to h5. But actually, black dealt with this pretty nicely, I have to say. I was quite impressed with it. There's a few ways of doing it, but black played f5, and after bishop d2, played the move f4 very quickly. So just shutting it out. I mean, if you'd gone h5, black would have gone f4 and g5. And yeah, I mean, you've kind of absorbed this this white advance, and you can always fill in the gaps with queen e8 to g6 if you have to. Not going to be easy for white to break through there. So Leela hangs back a little bit, but black plays f4 there, queen h2 and d4, and shuts the position. And yeah, I mean the knight doesn't have a great square, so it goes back to b1. So actually, looking at this, you sort of think, well, black's done pretty well out of the opening there. White's the centre is closed. White will play a slightly longer game, but really, I mean, the king is pretty safe there. And bishop e6 played by black, g3 trying to open the king's side, and then queen c7 from black, just holding the f pawn, and after a4, knight to d7. So I mean, yeah, I would just say, normally speaking, yeah, okay, well, black just is going to start pushing on the queen side now, and then it's game over, right? What can white possibly achieve? But yeah, Leela, that's the secret of Leela, right? Leela manages to find play in all sorts of situations. So play the move queen g2, and black played the interesting move bishop h6 here, with the idea of, if you take on f4, wants to recapture with the bishop on f4 and just get a piece on f4 there, and yeah, just basically hold that whole kingside structure. And after all, the bishop wasn't doing a great deal on g7, so why not put it on h6? And it's also stopping the advance of the h pawn to h6 as well. So yeah, I mean, you're sort of thinking, well, how on earth is Leela going to make anything of that? So proceeds quite slowly actually. Bishop f3, c5, b3, and black plays b6. So just a slow advance from black, a6, b5. But after all, why does black need to hurry particularly? I mean, what is white doing, right? Not at all at black's throat. And yeah, Leela plays the move bishop c1. Why? Because the knight's got to try and come out to d2. So I mean, you're looking at this and you're saying, really, black's played this really well, really got it under control. So a6 played. And now Leela plays g4, and yeah, this is the advantage of, for Leela at least, of the bishop being on h6. Black will not manage to close the king side. If this bishop was back on g7, then black could play the move h6, this typical Petrosian idea, and then h5 can be met by g5, and g5 can be met by h5. But you won't manage to do that, because after bishop g7, then Leela plays g5, and then h5 is going to follow. So you'll always manage to get the h file open, but it's a very, very narrow area, of course, and yeah, it's going to take an awful lot to go from that to mating, considering also how few pieces White's got involved in the attack. Black played something interesting here. Played the move h5. Probably wouldn't have been my favourite, but it's not bad at all. The idea being, after takes, that you can meet h5 with g5, and yeah, I mean, Black's also looking at some stage probably to put the knight on f6 to h5 and block things that way. But yeah, Leela has a little bit of an opening, I suppose you'd say, and starts to make use of it. So bishop g4, threatening bishop e6, of course. The engines actually kind of want Black to play king f7, and then afterwards play knight f6 to h5, just to block things. Play the rook to h8. That would have been pretty sensible, I think. Black plays queen d6, which is fine. Knight d2, and now plays the move b5, which again, frankly, is completely fine. I mean, at least I was watching this game. I didn't raise my eyebrows or anything. I mean, it felt like this is a good moment. Black's fine on the king's side. Nothing much is happening at the moment. No huge danger. So let's play b5 and start pushing on the queen's side. Knight f3. I mean, the evaluation is minus 3.71, which is actually a bit lower than when the game started, but Black obviously doing very, very well. Interesting here as well to see the engines already wanting to take some action, looking at king f7 and to be able to put the rooks across on the h file and deal with any pressure there. Black played the move knight f6, bishop takes e6, queen e6, and White played king e2, and I guess this is where I kind of thought that Black started to go off a bit. It's not reflected in the evaluations by any means, but it's just the way that it felt somehow, because I sort of felt that Black had missed, after Black's next move, I felt that Black had missed White's next move. And that's when the slight panic and slight nervousness started to set in. The engine's actually recommending moves like knight h5, for example, rook g1, rook c8, king h7, just keeping things nice and safe, and then playing c4 just after a little bit more preparation somehow. What Black did was play the move c4, and then White took and played bishop a3. Now, the amazing thing here is that this actually leads to a jump in evaluation, and the engines now think it's minus 5.21. But that's only due to a rather nifty tactical blow, which we'll show you. But what I felt simply was that, oh God, it feels like you're pushing through, but actually all that you've done is you've given White another way of attacking the Black position, and that's annoying. And I'm pretty sure that the human player in this game felt the same as well. Sort of, oh God. Curses, threatening bishop on e7, and now g6 is under attack. Whereas before you played c4, there wasn't that at all, That's why it's so hard to deal with Leela. But actually, Stockfish points out that Black actually has this possibility. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a cold. I thought I was going to sneeze there. So what is the point of that? Well, if d takes e4, we've got queen c4, and wherever you go, this is going to be very, very painful here. King e2, d3. And if you go bishop takes e7, looking to maybe get something there, the engine thought even this was the strongest, and then e4, blasting things open. And yeah, White's in a whole load of trouble here. So d takes e4, we go queen e4, king d1 takes, king e1, f takes g3, and it's just total carnage, basically. Just getting completely killed. So that was, yeah, again, these tactical opportunities are there, but you need to be really good to spot them. So from a human perspective, the best thing is never to give White the chance to do them, and easier said than done, because I hadn't seen this one coming. But when it happened, I thought, God, that's annoying. Black played the move king h7. And here Leela uncorked something else, which was queen g5. Wow, that's a good move. So if bishop g5, knight takes g5, forks king and queen. And yeah, I mean, it's the engines actually, Torch and Stockfish, wanted to play queen h3, which I think would have been much more friendly for black. But this has a real shock effect. But yeah, you know, it's just really, really unpleasant. I mean, what the engines feel is that black should have done something like this. And simply, you know, if queen takes e5, then fine, right? I mean, you'll exchange off the queens. Who cares? You know, and that would be better. That would be much, much better, of course. But black got a little panicked here. And you know, this is what happens with human players. And worried about losing that e5 pawn, played the move knight c6, which gave white the opportunity to take on here. But still, you know, the engines are saying minus 2.95, and you understand why, right? 2 pieces for the rook. Yeah, good initiative on the queen side for black. And well, there's this queen on g5, but you'll work out a way to get rid of that one. You know, maybe the queen will move away somehow. So it feels like you're still in control, even if, you know, you've probably lost material a little bit unnecessarily. But Leela carries on with a series of amazing moves. Again, I was just, you know, looking at it and saying, oh my God, where is this coming from? So Leela played the move h5. But after knight h5, you know, I was sort of expecting maybe rook h5, you know, and this is actually also what the engines are playing there. You know, takes, and queen h5, and then trying to hammer along the h file. But it's nothing, right? It's black's got ways of dealing with that. But what Leela does is play the move rook hb1. So all of a sudden, looking at coming round another angle somehow. And yeah, very, very difficult. Black took on d3 and played queen d7. So you're getting out of the attack of the knight. So you're now threatening to take on g5. And then Leela just plays the move queen g2 going back. And you sort of think, well, okay, you know, it looks like you've dealt with everything. But you know, you start trying to find a plan to make progress now, and you just find that you've been pushed back a little bit, and that, yeah, you've actually got to start from afresh, and there's all sorts of squares, you know, that you have to cover that you're not really sure about. And this is a tough one. I mean, black was on 3+2, so I think by now would be getting down to a little bit of time plus increments, and it just proves just so difficult to handle. Black did something quite reasonable. Rook c8 looked reasonable to me, at least, you know, looking to come into c2. And after rook b6, yeah, quite a natural move. You're thinking, okay, rook b1 will be coming in. Black played the move a5, which is very, very natural, because what you want to do, of course, is you'd like at some stage to play the knight to b4. You know, and block this invasion along the b file. But it's then that you realize, when you're thinking, oh, I'd like to play knight b4, and then you realize that, oh, actually, wait a minute, hadn't quite realized, but the rook's also attacking here, so I'll have to watch out for queen takes g6 first. And whilst that's sort of processing through your mind, Leela hits you with, you might want to pause the video and have a little guess. Hits you with queen takes g6, and that's plus 3.39, so the game's just turned around completely. What's the point of it? King takes g6, knight e5 check, and we're forking the king and queen. And what's happened then is that, well, you've gone from from material down. You've now got a rook and a pawn for the 2 pieces. Then, you know, it's knight and bishop, but all the pieces are just terrible, right? Here we go here, king e7. And then rook b7, for example. Yeah, this is what the engines are looking at. King f6, rook h1, king g5, rook g1, e5, rook h1, picking up a piece. It's just, pardon me, it's just terrible. So that was the move, queen g6, but it all came about from, you know, that one, for me, it came about, you know, where it started to go wrong for the human player was not where it necessarily started to go wrong tactically, because there was a big tactical opportunity for black, but it was with that move, c4, that just gave Leela this extra angle And from there, Leela what Leela did with it was just incredible. This move Queen G5, incredible as well. A little bit of panic from black, but then this sacrifice and then the change of angle. And the amazing thing about it is that it was something that I just hadn't spotted at all. I mean, I was thinking change of angle. I was only looking there and doubling up on the B file, but no, the change of angle. It's combining across the whole board with this stunning move, Queen takes G6. Really great game. I do love watching these games and getting amazed and getting surprised by all the stuff that Leela finds. And a lot of human players are doing a really good job, right? They really are doing a good job. But simply, it's just proving very hard to handle. All the tactics happening even late in the middle game. You think you've got past the initial flurry and that's it. Well, you've got another 3 or 4 phases of tactical tricks to get through before you can even start thinking about winning, and that's proving to be very difficult for players at all time controls there. Obviously the shorter ones are even worse, but even at the longer ones you're seeing Leela coming up with all sorts of amazing stuff that just isn't obvious and easy to miss. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed that game. I'm looking at loads as I speak here, so I'm sure I'll have a few more for you in the coming weeks. So do stay tuned, and hope to see you at the next video. Thanks for watching.